I fell into just the deepest, darkest depression I've experienced. And in that time, I did let go of the sport in more of a way than I should have. And you know this in your logical brain, like that's the thing that's gonna save you. That's the thing that's gonna help. But then you like kind of revolt against it because you get so used to the darkness. There's a part of me that wants to say it all happened how it needed to, because that's the adage that everyone wants to live by.
No regrets,
but
right? Yeah.
That's toxic positivity at its finest. I had a neighbor once who was in her late 60s who played through college, everything. She just said, you appreciate your body for what it can do now because I can't even shoot a basketball anymore. And she's like, I would give anything to be able to do that thing again. So I wrote this piece once.
Yeah.
It is about grieving the game before it's over. I think I've always had that mentality of like, think ahead to the moments that you won't have this, so enjoy it now while you still do, while you can still run and pick up a ball.
How'd you get back to basketball?
I'm still finding my way right now.
Bree, are you an athlete?
I am.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I know you didn't play into college and all of that, but give us the rundown.
Absolutely. I think I picked up a basketball when I was like 5 or 6. I remember when my dad put the first basketball hoop in the driveway. You know, sealing that in with concrete was such like a step in the right direction for me, like falling in love with the sport. Played all through high school, so varsity basketball through high school. And then now it's just still such a part of my life. I play on a lot of leagues. I play in parks. I play at home with one of the foam balls that got served up as an Instagram ad to me. And
oh, I've seen those. I haven't gotten one yet, but I've been so tempted.
It's fun. It's fun. But yeah, it's always played kind of a crucial role in my life for just my mental health and my overall well-being.
Love that.
Yeah.
Being a person that played college basketball all the way through college, you at this point in your life 100% play more basketball than I do. So this is also my caveat of like, you played through high school, you didn't play in college, but now you're still almost more connected to it than somebody who did.
I would agree with that entirely. Yes, I've fallen more in love with it now that it isn't a requirement in my life. Like I always, you know, we talked about it earlier too, of like people ask you first and foremost, like, what sport did you play? Like that was always just kind of their go-to question. And for me, it was always, I've always played basketball, but now I love it for such different reasons. And I always call it my meditation. A lot of people like to sit in stillness for meditation, but there is a dance, there is a flow with basketball. And if you can just put in some headphones, kind of let your body go, I think that is a form of meditation.
In a weird way, until I started podcasting, I would like start talking to someone, like we're totally vibing, connecting. And then I would look at Alex after and I'd be like, how was the episode? And she was like, it was great. Like, you just did it. I was like, I would black out.
Oh, I black out all the time.
So I never associated that too. The only other time I felt that was right before a basketball game. Like you step onto the court and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, wow, that went really quick. And it was like it didn't happen. And so Alex was like, yeah, that's called flow state. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, so there's that piece of like, it really lets you just let go.
It does. Yeah, you get set into another world. Have you watched Soul, the Pixar movie?
But I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
Because they talk about flow. And they visualize it in a way that's just so beautiful because it is that place you go to when you connect with that thing that you love so much.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Was the decision not to play beyond high school, was that a decision you made? Kind of tell me about that part of your life.
I feel like it was never a decision I made because college was just never in the books for me. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 14. I used to buy broken electronics on Craigslist, fix them up and flip them. So that was just kind of how I started. And I knew out of high school, like I was going to be a doer and not necessarily like a book learner. And I was never great at it. I was a great student in high school, but I think that had a lot to do with basketball because you had to keep certain grades in order to play, and something to do with my dad. Thanks, Dad.
You knew kind of, you were like, I've got these things I'm already working on. I know I'm going entrepreneur route.
Yep.
Do you remember coming up on kind of like the end of that senior season? You don't know when your last game is, but you're like, oh, that might be my last game. Oh, but it's not. But I need to not think about it so I can stay focused, right? How were you emotionally, physically?
I'm not going to let other people's stories cloud my own right now because there's so many times I've heard like the letdown after, leaving the sport. But I never had that. I have to be honest. I had this instant excitement for the future of this was still something I could do. I never saw it as an end. It was just the next chapter beginning, and it was going to look different. It was going to feel different. And honestly, it was going to be on my own schedule. No more running miles at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like, I could choose my own adventure then. So it just felt like a seamless transition into my life where it still was such a core aspect of who I was, but not everything that I was anymore.
Yeah. Do you feel like you were proactive in that moment, or do you think that's just kind of how you naturally are and were?
I think that's how I naturally am. A lot of times, passion has always driven me, so whatever I'm passionate about just kind of remains, and I just keep pushing forward in that. Yeah, I just had this passion and zest for life where I needed more, and I knew more was going to come with the discipline that I learned through basketball, with the teamwork, collaboration, that you bring that into an entrepreneurial life, and I didn't want to let go of that skill, so it meant holding on to basketball in a new way, but allowing for space in other ways to grow and evolve and not have that be my sole identity.
Right. So it's like you were already in a place where you were like, this can still be a part of me, and I can also take in these other new and different things and kind of redefine myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did the exact opposite. I had the okay, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, be happy. Be happy for all those great moments, be happy for the wins. All right, you're not an athlete anymore. Now you need to focus on the next thing. So I love hearing that kind of you were able to step right into that, because that's a space where I don't know that it would have been different. Like the age that I was when I was done playing, all of that, I think I still needed that time to kind of discover and find my own grieving. If, as my now self could speak to, my graduating college self, it would be kind of that, let yourself sit with it, but you don't have to cut it off.
Right.
Because it's literally still in you.
Yeah. And so I wrote this piece once, and it is about grieving the game before it's over.
Yeah.
So I think I've been prepping for the day that my body will no longer allow me to play the sport that I love for a long time. So I think I've always had that mentality of think ahead to the moments that you won't have this. So enjoy it now while you still do, while you can still run and pick up a ball and shoot a basket. And I had a neighbor once who was in her late 60s who played through college, everything. And she had this one impactful moment where she looked at me and I was playing in the driveway. And this was right after COVID, so not that long ago. Yeah. And she just said, you appreciate your body for what it can do now, because I can't even shoot a basketball anymore. And she's like, I would give anything to be able to do that thing again. And so it's just honestly made me just appreciate the game even more.
I love that.
Yeah.
When did you write that piece? How old were you?
It was probably 2018, so I was 27.
What prompted you to even take the time to write that, or feel the desire to write that?
Oh, goodness. If basketball is the love of my life in terms of sports, writing is the thing that made me fall in love with just life in general. Words. I've always written. It's been a thing that helps me process. And I'm totally that person now in the gym that that's where inspiration hits me. It'll be I'm on the basketball court or I'm lifting weights, and all of a sudden you'll find me in the corner viciously typing away on my phone because something needs to come out. And I remember writing that in Phoenix after playing basketball and sitting on the steps next to the court and looking at it and just thinking about this conversation I had with my neighbor, and just grieving the day that my body would no longer allow me the space to do that.
Did you feel like when you were playing, you were competing on an organized team, you were still playing in high school? Did you feel a lot of pressure in that space, in that environment?
If you're years out from your last game and something still feels off, you're not alone. Most retired athletes don't even realize that they're carrying the weight of an identity loss they never processed. We designed a breathwork experience specifically for retired athletes that helps you release what's been sitting in your body since you stopped competing. The emotions you were taught to push down, the doubt, the disconnect. This breathwork is completely virtual and takes less than an hour. I've done breathwork with this facilitator over 100 times, and I promise you, every single session hits different. I used to think breathwork was woo-woo, and now it's a non-negotiable part of my routine. Lifetime access, one purchase. Grab the discount in the description.
Did you feel a lot of pressure in that space, in that environment?
Yeah. pressure, but if I'm going to be honest, more so than anything, it was the drama that got me. Yeah.
Got it.
Because women don't always support women. And in those scenarios, you can be made to feel small on a team. So you take up less space. And I think that's, as a female athlete, something that we have to deal with a lot, because it's not a lot of lifting one another up. It's competing or being better than the other person. So that honestly is really where I felt more pressure than anything, was the social aspect of the game. And if I'm being honest, still, even as an adult, I still feel that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How does that exist now? Like, as an adult, where do you see that play out?
So I play on a lot of leagues now, and I just moved to Chicago 3 years ago.
Okay.
And one of the things I love about Chicago is, and for reference, Phoenix had 2 female leagues.
Okay.
So that's a league that isn't
area.
co-ed, that you don't have to play with men. It's just, it's a different level of the game when you're playing co-ed, which I can still appreciate.
Totally.
But there's only 2 leagues. So I played on one of the leagues in Phoenix, and then I moved to Chicago. And if I wanted, I could play every single night of the week here. There is a league in every little corner of the city. Yeah. So I joined a couple, and I've just found that in some, that social aspect of the game and the, dare I even say, the bullying in the game can be extreme. And I just look around and I'm like, y'all know we paid to be here, right? Like we paid money. Yeah.
We're choosing to spend our time doing this, and we actually paid to be able to come do this.
Exactly. But yeah, that's honestly what's pushed me out of some of the spaces more so than anything.
Even just watching you talk about it, feeling you talk about it, you know, it's like you're so purely in it for the sake of the sport.
Yep.
That it's like, not worth your time. Mm-hmm. Not worth your time to deal with any of the other stuff and the drama pieces of it. Yeah. I also just love seeing it through you too, because you have been able to keep that love and like that relationship to it. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure it's taken different forms.
Absolutely.
You know, as you have too, you know, over the years, being able to stay connected. Would you say at any point in your life, you're now how old?
36. I just turned 36. I got to practice saying that.
Happy birthday recently.
Thank you.
Have you ever not played basketball?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I moved to Chicago, I moved here under kind of harsh circumstances. What brought me here was darkness, I guess, even. I was leaving something behind in Phoenix that needed to be let go of. But man, when I moved here, I had a rough time. I was grieving. I was grieving a life that I left behind, and
in all aspects.
In all aspects, yeah. And once I got here, I fell into just the deepest, darkest depression I've experienced, and it lasted for about 3 years. And in that time, I did let go of the sport in more of a way than I should have. And you know this in your logical brain, like that's the thing that's going to save you. That's the thing that's going to help. But then you like kind of revolt against it because you get so used to the darkness and how comfortable it can be that you're like, no, I'd rather just sit here and experience what I know rather than the fear of what I don't.
That unfortunately becomes the comfortable state to stay in, right? And also sometimes, at least for me, it's like sometimes it's that like deserving. Yeah. Like, okay, here's this light, right? Here's this piece of light, but comfort zone right now. And when you're in a depression like that, right, it's like, it's darkness.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, if I have that little piece of light, that's not matching up with where I'm existing currently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spot on.
How'd you get back to basketball?
I'm still finding my way right now. I'm going to be honest. Since we've moved now, we're in a new spot. Unfortunately, my gym doesn't have the basketball hoops that my old one did. So I have to be really intentional now. But it's about to be summer in Chicago. So you can find me outdoors playing.
Love.
My bestie, Marty, is also a basketball player. So we've been playing together for a little bit. And I just enjoy kind of getting outdoors. Yeah. You know, there's Foster Beach has some basketball hoops, and it's just a gorgeous view of Lake Michigan. So I'm going to be getting back to just the basics. And it's so interesting how life works, because it's like this message presented over so many aspects of my life that it's like, go back to the basics. And someone once told me that whatever worked for you before, just copy paste it. So I'm trying to copy what former Bree did to find my way now in this new version of who I am.
Yeah, even just hearing you say that, it's like, what do coaches say all the time?
Yeah.
What in the sports world, right? It's like, stick to the fundamentals.
Exactly.
Stick to the fundamentals, play good defense. You might not hit all the shots, but if you can at least rely on defensive rebounding, you'll be okay.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Love that you're getting back into the game.
Yeah.
Would you have done anything different basketball related? Is there anything that you wish kind of had taken a different shape, or do you feel like it all happened how it needed to?
There's a part of me that wants to say it all happened how it needed to, because that's the adage that everyone wants to live by.
No regrets,
but
right? Yeah.
that's toxic positivity at its finest. So no, there are of course things I regret. I have friends who've played, at higher levels, and they stood up in their teammates' weddings, and they go to their bridal showers, and they're there when they have their kids. Like, the teammates that you build outside of high school are so important, and I've seen that play out in my friends' lives, and there's jealousy there because I didn't get that. And so it makes me have to sit back and really think about it, because what is that regret then? Is it a regret of losing the game, or is it a regret that I didn't go to college?
Yeah.
So it kind of comes double layered. At the end of the day, I'm proud of the journey that I've been on to get here, no matter if, past me made those decisions or not.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. If you had gone to college, would you have played?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been hands down.
Yeah.
The opportunities were potentially there in terms of the sports side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which sometimes, is not everybody's situation either, right? Where it's whether it be skill-wise or whatever, it's something insane where it's what 0.01% of all high school athletes even get an opportunity at the next level,
Yeah.
But I totally understand what you're saying. And two, when I have conversations with people, you can kind of piece together whether it's at the end of high school, at the end of college, end of professional, right? It's you're no longer going to be playing the competitive game with a practice every day and multiple games a week. It's that part's going to be different about your life, but the teammate part, the being in it together with other people for this thing that's outside of you.
Exactly. Win together, lose together.
It is hard to recreate that.
It is.
Yeah.
You can't make old friends.
And it just makes me mad even hearing you talk. And just so much of it, though, I think, like you're saying, the drama was too much, in the situation that it was. And that's just so shitty.
Yeah.
That it's that totally pivoted you, and potentially impacted your life choices. Also in the same way that the teammate part can be great.
Right.
Can also not be.
Yeah. For every light, there is a dark. Yeah.
There's so much with sport. There's so much of the individual level of it, how you're talking, and your connection to it, and it serving as your meditation. And then there is also the group part of it.
Yep.
And those connections. And if one of those is better or worse, or one's good and one's bad, you need both.
You do.
Yeah.
And now I'm so thankful for having found the game again in Chicago. I mean, some of my best friends now are people that I met because I joined a league. Now, I guess that jealousy, looking at some of those friends, while I can't make those old-time friends, I can make new friends and forge new relationships with the new teammates that I have as an adult, as an emotionally aware adult as well. Yeah, so it's still special.
Other than basketball, getting back into leagues, just in terms of physical life, being an athlete, moving your body, what do kind of your routines look like? What are your kind of go-to things for yourself?
Getting back at it as we speak. So back in 2015, I found myself kind of at a rock bottom state. I was heavier than I'd ever been. I lost the game. I wasn't playing. I lost my job, then lost a relationship I was in, and just kind of lost my mind at the end of it, and realized that I had to get back to the basics. So I literally spent 12 weeks getting into the best shape of my life. I've still to this day never been in that peak level shape, but it introduced me to the world of weightlifting, which not many females are introduced to. We're taught cardio and machine work and, your small little weights, and not deadlifting and, doing those things that other people can be intimidated by in the gym. Yeah. So now I love weightlifting, and I can kind of just be my own coach in that too, and set up different workouts and push myself through those. But I am that person that just loves headphones in, no one bother me. This is my space. I have resting gym face. So don't approach. But so weightlifting, getting back to some meal prepping is important when you are weightlifting. It's just making sure you're getting enough protein, you're getting enough carbs, fat. So that's super important to me.
Yeah. In the weightlifting aspect, did sport and kind of experience with that, did you have experience with that? Did your team lift and things in high school? Yeah. That's usually the follow-up question, because it's some schools were starting to be really good about it, and then some schools it's like I had teammates too that even got to college and had never lifted. Or had like lifted, but it was like conditioning.
Exactly.
You know?
Not a single time in high school were we ever in the weight room. Never introduced to it. I graduated high school and just had never done it.
So basketball was your everything exercise-wise, everything physical that you did at that time. And then all of a sudden you don't have a team that you're playing on in terms of that. And we all know things add up and change. And so when you started lifting in 2015, you taught yourself.
I also joined a program. So kind of one of those influencers you find on Instagram and joined a 12-week program. And so I got some workouts. I really learned, I will never call it dieting, but I learned a new lifestyle with eating. And I recognized that I was not eating enough, kind of like I am even at this moment, again, getting back to the basics. But you have to eat a lot more than you are right now to get in the shape you're looking, that aesthetic that you might be going for requires more. And often we're taught, specifically as females, that you eat less, you run, all your calories off, you do cardio and that's it. And not when you're building muscle mass, you have to have a lot of protein. And it takes intentionality.
More than we think.
Right? Oh, way more. Like a gram per pound.
Adds up to a lot.
A lot every day.
It's getting better, right? It's like at least that messaging, all of that, it's like it's getting better, but still breaking down some of those routines and not having that already be a part of kind of your habits and how you organize it. It takes work.
It does. It takes a lot of work. You have to set aside some good time to do it. You have to give up TV.
You have to like turn that off and then focus on this thing so that you can do it. So I feel
exactly.
So many aspects of it, right? It's like being that athlete identity. That's never left you.
No.
And it's given you a foundation for all these things, but you also had to learn so much more to add to it. It keeps evolving. It keeps taking kind of different forms. What do you wish you could say to yourself now, if you're yourself currently and you could talk to, yourself when you're coming up on the end of your last game?
Honestly, I think I'd tell myself like a secret, and I'd be like, hey, the secret is on YouTube. Literally, you can learn anything you want. Go search it. Find it. Like, I wish I had found that sooner, because I might not have gone to college, but boy, do I have some master's degrees on YouTube.
100%. YouTube University can just take you places.
I would go back to that person and just say it's all going to be okay, and you're going to learn it and you're going to figure it out, but go learn the things you want to learn, not the things you're told to learn.
Were you getting a lot of that messaging when you were young?
As athletes, we're taught to compartmentalize everything. Push it down, stay focused, win. But that doesn't always serve us as adults. So we designed a breathwork experience specifically for retired athletes. It isn't talk therapy, it's a somatic release that helps you process a decade of suppressed emotions in one powerful session. It's completely virtual and takes less than an hour. Grab your discount code in the description.
Were you being held back to explore kind of your entrepreneurial side, or were you supported in that?
Both.
Yeah.
I have a very conventional family that there were, check boxes. And these are the things that you do in life. And while I fully support that for others, I have always kind of been what my family calls me, the colorful one. I'm just kind of the out there, the queer, the entrepreneur. But I did a lot of unconventional things. But I will say my creativity and my passion and my drive have never been held back by my support system. Those have always been encouraged, even though it came with judgment. So that was the hardship, because innately we want to make our parents proud. So I definitely had to struggle through that. But otherwise, thank you to my parents who were always so supportive.
Even maybe with a little bit of judgment. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like the support's first, right? It's like, and we can all be thankful. I was very fortunate as well.
Yeah.
And I had that support early on. What do you do now? Tell us.
Oh.
I always honestly forget to ask this question. And Alex is like, Erin, ask them what they do now.
Yeah. Pick your own adventure. Do you want to know what I do for money, what I do for passion, or what I do for fun?
I want all three.
Okay.
I want all three. In whatever order you want.
Well, what I do for money right now is I'm a general manager at a production venue in Ravenswood.
Okay.
We're a huge studio space with a stage, so we do anything from concerts to comedy to theater to dance to webinars, podcasts even. And it's attached to a coffee shop, which is pretty cool. So it's just a really unique space to work. And then what I do for passion, I own a company called Only Human, and it's truly been the most passion I've ever experienced in my life, is being able to just pour into that and pour into the community and pour into advocacy and mental health support. So I do a lot of work there and spend a lot of my free time, as my girlfriend would let you know. I am oftentimes up until the wee hours of the morning. So I work my full-time job and then I do that. And then fun, I've been writing a book.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do we get a hint into what it's about?
Sure. It's a dystopian future where, a non-binary individual and a lesbian meet. But this dystopian future is after multiple pandemics have hit, and there's kind of illness running rampant, and there's a new disease that happens where you lose your memories, and you can choose then a cure, but the cure means that you lose 10 years of your memory all at once.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of that choice between, would I lose it slowly or would I choose to lose everything all at once? But it's the journey of these two individuals having to find one another again after loss, and having to find yourself again and your identity after, forgetting and reverting back to like a younger self that didn't know those things about you yet. And it's the question we ask ourselves of, is this part of my identity and who I am, or have my experiences in life shaped who I am? And I think that's a really fun theme to explore in the book.
That is fantastic for both of us here in this conversation too. It's like the conversation around identity, right? And how so many of us have different shapes and different identities that maybe take priority over others. I know for me, it's like my queer identity and exploring that. And that's such a big transition, for a lot of us, no matter what age, you kind of go through that, and however you identify within that, for me is always like, okay, that's the identity that we're talking about. And then when Alex and I kind of started talking through the no former athlete side of it, it's like, oh yeah, no, athlete identity, that's another big portion of the identity. My brain, for whatever the reason, and I still haven't fully teased it out. I haven't fully gotten to where that's like, I just very much had this like, okay, it all has to be one. I don't know where that comes from still. And it could just be,
Yeah, and how exhausting to switch between all those roles all the time, where you feel like you exist almost, I guess, in a silo of what that identity is. And that's where I think if we can learn to meld those together, is you are so many beautiful things, and allow yourself to exist as that whole human, that identity encompasses all those amazing things about you.
Even like you were saying with the check boxes, right? The check boxes of your family. It's like the boxes can have all the different identity pieces, but it's like, why does there actually have to be a line or a wall or a box edge between each one? It's like they all meld, like they all impact each other.
Yeah.
And so like finding and allowing yourself to give permission to all of them.
Yes. And I feel like we hear a lot of people, even in like their careers these days, is they were always told, this is the one thing that you are. This is your job title. And we mistake that as like our life title a lot. And so I think that we're in this wave of not only this new generation coming in saying, no, I'm so much more than just this one thing, but also this millennial generation, my own generation, where I'm seeing battle with, I'm not just this one thing, and I don't have to exist in this one space. So we're seeing a lot of people completely transition careers and go wildly in a different direction. And I think that's beautiful. There's all these different layers of identity and so many different levels of your life that you can discover those identities at. Like, it's totally true. Like, you're never too old to try something new. And if you love it, like keep doing it.
It's that internal permission, acknowledging that they're all there. I think a lot of it was kind of guided, you know, in us as millennials, where it was like, okay, go to college, do the next thing, get in your profession, right? Get into your professional track. That works for some people, and that's fantastic. But that usually also then becomes a new identity, right? That everyone throws everything behind. Speaking from the total physical therapist that has pivoted and now is doing a lot more brand stuff and podcasting and, you know, doing these things that I never thought I would, it does take that acknowledgement of the different parts of yourself. I've been supported by the people around me. I've had, you know, a very, you know, enriched support system, I guess, more or less. And being married to an entrepreneur, it's like, oh yeah, you can do this. Like you can make it whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And just removing that fear that says I can't be more than one thing. And I have, you know, even a best friend who's very similar, physical therapist, kind of discovering all these other possibilities out in the world. And I think that once you push through that fear, it's this beautiful new world of possibility that you can absorb and, you know, grow into.
Yeah. Like, did people know you because of basketball?
Yes and no. I'd say just athlete. People have always looked at me my whole life and just been like, what sport do you play? Because it's like, I don't know if I have it stamped on my forehead or what, but
like, I don't know what energy I'm giving out into the world. Yeah. Did you know that there were other things to value about yourself than just being the athlete?
Yes, but it took some time. Yeah, because when I was younger, like through high school, that was just it. That's what I was.
That's what everyone asked you about. Every adult that interacted with you in your life. Oh, what sport do you play?
Yeah.
I was always the mature kid, you know, that would talk to the adults, go over to a friend's house, like talk to the parents for a second before you go down to the basement. I felt like we were kindred spirits on that. And then I was reflecting on it and I was like, yeah, I talked to the parents, but I only ever talk to them about sports. And they only ask me, hey, how was your last game? Hey, how's the season going? How's the team look? Which again, I love. Like, you know what I mean? It's like at the time I didn't think twice of it because that's what was going on in my life. But when that's gone,
what do they talk
whether
to you
you're
about?
18, whether you're 23, whether you're, you know, 40, and you stop playing your game and you don't have a score to report, well, what do you value about yourself? That's what people asked me about.
Yeah. So I guess then my answer would be, yes, I did know there were other things that I valued about myself because it wasn't my only identity. I think more so than anything, people view me as like an athlete and a creative. And I knew that that creativity was there at a young age and was always told that. Like the amount of times I was told, oh, you're such a creative, you're so creative. But it was there and I valued that enough that I didn't feel completely empty when the game was over.
I think that's huge. Because too, as I've talked to other friends and other people that are totally in creative world, whether it be art in different mediums, photography, videography, all of that, a lot of them knew that about themselves early on. When something went down with athlete side, whether it be injury, whether it be, you know, we're ineligible to play, whatever it was, they like totally, they're like, I'm good. I've got creative side. And I think too, there's a lot of, even when you're young, like from a young age, if you know that like creativity and working in a creative industry is like what you're kind of drawn towards, you kind of develop a little bit of like entrepreneurial thinking. So there's not a lot of straightforward paths. You can use your creativity in so many different facets. But versus being like a science brain of like, okay, well, you can go this way, you can go this way, and you can go this way. It's very fascinating to me when I talk to people that have had their creative side since they were young, feel a little bit more malleable, just a little bit more fluid in being able to like switch that transition.
Well, I mean, creativity in and of itself is seeing something that doesn't exist, right?
Absolutely.
So if you can do that in your brain with these imaginative ideas, then you do that in your life as well, and you see the possibility where there is none, and you can see the way that, ooh, if I tweak this one thing, it could all feel different. And I think that when I'm designing a t-shirt,
Yeah.
But then I also think that when I'm facing some of life's biggest questions.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that so much. When you kind of first came across, and I reached out to you a couple days ago and I was like, hey, I've got this podcast, No Former Athlete.
Yeah.
What is that idea kind of No Former Athlete? Like, what was the first thing that kind of popped into your head?
I was like, oh shit, do they know that I didn't play in college? So my question in my head was actually, are they going to think that my identity was entirely basketball because it so was different? The concept of the whole podcast, I think, is something that I have witnessed so many times in my life, be it my closest friends or someone on the news. You know, we hear this story and that it never leaves you, that it is always part of you. And I think that's why, you know, parents do push their kids into sports, because the things that you learn and take away from those, no matter how short of a period of time you play something or experience it, you're still learning those valuable life skills.
And I just love that it has been such a building block and such a basic, right? Such a back to the basics for you.
Exactly.
That you've been able to lean back into for so long. And it's very much inspiring me to use that as my meditation as well. I've gotten into breath work over the last couple of years, which has been helpful and great.
And I'll even do breath work while like practicing dribbling. So just the switch between hands, even like quick in, out. And so just practicing the breath work alongside something that you love and the sport that you love. Like, it doesn't have to be a big game. It can just be you in the court.
Yeah. You don't have to have a referee out there. You don't have to have anyone telling you how you're supposed to do it. I love that so much. Anything else you want to put out into the world? Anything else that our conversations kind of sparked that we haven't talked about already?
I think just know that there is something out there that is made for you beyond just the sport. And I would encourage anyone to just follow what, you know, you're passionate about, and that thing that inspires you, no matter how weird others might find it. It's still you and it's part of you. And I think that that's a beautiful thing.
Tell me about the girl in this picture. Tell me what's going on in her life, what she's up to.
Oh, man, it's so interesting to bring this back up, because I was on my third middle school by the time I hit this picture. I ended up going to 8 schools in 8 years. So I never really had a foundation of like friends, of familiarity. The kid in that picture was actually hurting quite a bit. The kid in that picture was being bullied a lot. And basketball was the only place that I felt like I could just be myself. Brings up a lot.
Yeah. You were able to be seen.
Yeah.
What would you want to say to her if you could talk to her today?
The bullies will never know the real you, because they're too worried about themselves. And to keep pursuing what sets your heart on fire, to know that it's all going to be okay, that you're going to be okay, and that you'll find your way.
What would she think about you to know you today?
Man, I think that kid would be proud. I was gay even at that point and didn't have the words for it. So being able to see a out, proud, queer human existing in front of her, you know, that would be inspiring. I looked for those types of individuals when I was young, and I didn't have those examples of that. So I think, proud of who I've become, proud of the identity that I've built, and proud of the work that I do in this world.
Love it.
Yeah.
For people that want to continue to support you, connect with you, all of that, where do you want them to follow you? Where do you want them to find you?
Sure. Instagram is the easiest. If you find me, you can find all the things that I do. I'm just at Bree Pear.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much for chatting with me.
Of course. This was fantastic. Jinx.
If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review. You taking that 5 minutes makes a huge difference and helps us to be able to make more episodes like this. And if you want to see more content in between the episodes, follow us at No Former Athlete on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm so glad you're a part of this No Former Athlete community. And if you know any No Former Athletes that you think I should get in touch with, DM me on Instagram at No Former Athlete. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.